Sixth grade math. How are we doing today? All right. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope you guys are all having, a great, wonderful day. Just to let you guys know, and a reminder, our first test is coming up on Monday. Yes, I know, grown. Oh, yeah, okay. But today we're going to spend some time. We're going to spend a little time preparing for our first test, and I'm going to teach you some strategies that can hopefully, help you calm down, relax, focus on the questions on the test, and then you can use them in other classes too. So the sheets I'm handing out, we're going to take a look at those, and then we'll go over some examples. I'll give you guys a study guide, and you can be on your merry way. Have a great weekend, study super hard, and I know you guys are all going to rock this first test. So first, I want to share a story with you guys about my testing experience. When I was in 5th grade, I was a little troublesome, caused some problems. Big history test coming up, and my parents are like, you need to study really well, you need to do a good job. I was like, okay, I got this. I'm ready to study. I'm going to have this one down pat. I get home, ready to study, don't know my book. Uh-oh. So my parents are like, oh, are you studying? And I was like, nope, I'm going to do it tomorrow because the test was moved back a day. I lied. It wasn't. So I didn't study that day. I studied the day before the test, and then I took the test. Thankfully, I did really well, but I also studied after the test to show my parents that I was, in fact, studying. So I don't suggest studying after a test after you've already taken it. Thankfully, I did well, and when my parents found out that I'd studied after, they couldn't be too mad at me. So in your groups, we have on the back of your sheet, it has tips for taking a test. So we'll just go through a couple of these, and then in your groups, you also got another sheet that has a sample problem on that, and we'll work on that. So looking over your sheet that has tips for taking a test. The first one that you see is come prepared. So, review all of your material a couple days before, so you have the weekend to review all your notes. Come with pencils, your calculator, stuff like that. Just come relaxed, ready and prepared. Don't dress up in like a suit and tie like I would every day. Nice and relaxed. Which is the next one. Stay relaxed and focused. And then you also want to glance over the entire test before you take it. So you want to go through, make sure you understand all the questions before you start, and then ask for clarification on different things. Carefully read all the directions. Do what you know first. So if you know that you've got down adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing of positive and negative numbers, go hammer that out first, because that'll be a good confidence booster, and then you'll have all your confidence up and you can tackle some of the harder problems. Read over all your choices for a multiple choice question. So if you know that D is wrong or something like that, you might want to eliminate it. And then underline and identify key information. So this is what we're going to practice in our groups. So you're going to underline keywords and then take out material from that question and see how you might want to organize your thoughts. Like I said, eliminate possible wrong answers. And then review your test once it's complete. You don't want to go through, sporadically just answer questions and then say, done, hand it in. You want to go through and make sure you answered all the questions correctly. Make sure you're not missing a plus or minus sign someplace. Just make sure everything's correct. Save a couple minutes at the end to do so. So in your small groups, you have your sample question, which should be on the back, this one. So, the sample problem. Can I have a volunteer for somebody who would want to read this out to the class? Sam? Very good. Thank you. So in your groups, I'd like you guys to underline a couple key phrases from that and also organize your thoughts and set up how you might solve the problem, but do not solve the problem yet. So if you could take the next couple minutes and do that.
Yeah, so
they made $350 total.
They made $300 just by themselves,
yes.
right?
Try not to solve anything yet. Just set it up. Sure, however you think is best for organizing your thoughts, but don't solve anything. Yep.
So are we assuming for the main problem how much more did Robin sell than Batman with the boxes that he was selling them at $3 a box? Or are we overthinking it to assume that up here it might be a different price?
So it's kind of two different questions being asked. So you're trying to figure out how much each of them raised individually. So you know what their total amount raised is, and then you want to figure out how much each person raised. And then your next question, once you figure out their total amount raised, you'll figure out how many boxes they sold if each box was $3.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
How are we doing over here?
When's lunch?
Hmm?
When's lunch?
Soon. Soon. I don't know. You doing okay? All right, how we doing? Okay. All right, can we stop? All right, help me out. Okay. So, can I have some volunteers point out some key phrases that they might have pulled out of this? Rosie?
4 times as many.
4 times as many. Okay. Anyone else? Kelly?
Donates $50.
Donates $50. All right. Hannah?
Total of $350.
Total of $350. Okay. Ashley? $3 a box. Okay. Are there any others? Ooh. Madeline? Raised individually. Okay. Michael?
Oh, how many boxes did they sell?
Okay. How many boxes did they sell? So that's a key question. Pang?
Batman and Robin.
Hey, let's not laugh about that. You have to remember that they are 2 individual people, so you need to know who your subjects are. Okay, so can I have an example of how somebody might have set up the problem, of how they would have solved it? Yes. Allie?
Well, our table, the first thing we did was subtract the $50 donation from the total fundraiser amount.
Okay, so 350 minus 50?
Yes.
Okay. Which, can anybody answer what that would be? 300, okay. Good. Okay, now what does 300 represent? Okay, so the money they raised from selling? Okay, and then what would the next step be, Michael?
Mr. E, is that 3,000 or 300?
That's 300. Better? Okay. What would be the next step then? Yes, Hannah.
Here's what I did. I saw that Robin sold 4 times as many as Batman. So I put that if we divide it into 5, Robin sells 4 and Batman sells 1. So I divided it by 5.
Okay. So if we set that up in a linear equation, like we've worked on, we would have we would have Robin sells 4 times as many boxes as Batman. And then that equals what? 300. Very good. So, and then you combined them. And then you divide it by 5. And what's the answer? Okay. So what does the $60 represent? Money. Okay, so this is how much money Batman has raised. What about Robin? 4 times as much. Very good. Which is 240. Very good. Okay. Now what's the next part of the question to ask? Yes, Allie?
How many boxes they sold?
Okay, so how would we figure that out?
Divide by $3.
Divide by $3. What would I divide by $3? Yes, Rosie? Can you speak up so the whole class can hear you?
Divide 300 by 3.
Okay.
Total amount of boxes.
$300 divided by $3. Now, why 300 and not 350?
Because the $50 was donated.
Okay, so you wouldn't count that towards, you wouldn't count the donated money towards your total sales. Does everybody see that? Okay, very good. And then this is 100 boxes. Very good. All right, now on the back, I gave you guys a study guide to work for on this weekend to get ready for your test. So if we want to go over this study guide just a little bit, I put up at the top some things that you should know. You should know how to use the X and Y coordinate plane. So if I gave you the coordinates 5, -4, could you place that on the Cartesian plane? Everybody nod their heads. Yes. Okay, very good. Could you format, do you know the format of the diamond problem? I have an example down here. Nod our heads, yes. Okay, very good. Pattern recognition, so if I gave you a pattern sequence, you could continue that pattern and then tell me what that pattern is. And then adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing of positive and negative numbers. This is going to be very important. I'm not going to allow you guys to use a calculator on this portion, so make sure that we practice not using a calculator at home. All right? On the study guide or in the test? The study guide is for the study guide is for your reference. You do not have to complete the study guide. I would suggest that you do. It'd be good practice preparing for the test. On the test, I would require you to show work. Are there any other questions? All right. Have a wonderful weekend. Study hard. Ask me any questions. You can email me over the weekend. I'll be answering emails. Review the study guide. Be a lifesaver. Thank you.